I actually don't know that much theory.
Well, I'm an idiot. And I'm just making up
good
stuff.
musicians. When you were playing at when we saw you at Jacob's thing, it was like the band looked very, as a whole, you guys looked very technically aware.
This was the backyard house show, right? For
Yeah.
Paperboat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Rita, who plays violin, is like extremely technically.
Oh, we were
Yeah.
crushing on her. Well, actually, I was crushing on her. He was crushing on her skills, but
And she has perfect pitch.
really,
Oh,
And
those
then
are
Hannah, who plays cello, also.
yeah, man. They were really good. But you too, like you're an awesome guitar player. I mean, like just from the album that you just put out and the songs that I hear, like it's it's more than 4 chords. It's more than just I guess standard staying in the same key, like you modulate.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not aware of that at all, or
I am aware of it, but it's not technical. Like
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
okay,
I'm more doing it by sound.
did you
I
have
gotcha.
lessons?
Yes, recently. Like
Okay. So it's not like growing up. You weren't.
no, which I think kind of helped in some ways. Like breaking the rules was not breaking the rules.
Because
it's
he's
just
talking
what
about changing
felt.
keys and stuff. So I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
But I
No?
took lessons 4 years ago from. Have you listened to the Innocence Mission? That
No.
band?
no.
I bet you would both like them.
Yeah.
You have?
You don't even know what kind of music I like.
Well, you like
I listen
my
to-
music, and so I assume you
I listen to
would.
classical, and that's it. No, I'm just kidding.
Based purely off of the fact that you like my
That you're here right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I took guitar lessons from the guitarist for that band, and
Nice.
that was amazing because he like framed theory as like different colors, like painting with different colors. So he's like,
Ooh.
I just want to give you more colors to paint
I see it.
with.
Like the color wheel.
Mhm.
I see the comparison, but I'm curious if it. Did he teach you like sheet music type shit, or like this is just like?
He taught
Yeah.
me like what a key is, which I didn't know that,
Oh.
like what chords are in a key.
Yeah.
And like but what he really taught me that helped was different shapes along the neck of the
Yeah.
guitar.
Like
I
bar
feel like
chords.
that's what I've taken with me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Triads and
So what were you doing before that? Because you seem to make it work.
I mean,
were you writing before?
I was writing
Yeah.
before. Yeah, I mean, I was just doing it I would learn a new chord and be like, okay, we'll use this.
It's
Just
kind of
random.
cool. Going back to what you were saying, it's kind of cool when you're limited. You're like forced to like, oh, I got to stick to the D and the E chord right now because those are the only two I know. And now,
Right.
you know,
Right.
yeah. So
And then if you know like D and then like A minor, which doesn't always fit in, you're like, okay, well, it's gotta work, or whatever.
I mean,
No,
those
How
those
does
do
the
work.
key-
I think
Okay.
those work. I don't
Yeah.
know.
There's some way to explain that it works.
Yeah.
That's like if you learn music theory and like you try to learn about how chords work in keys, like it's a helpful tool, but when you break the rules, it's like even cooler than just sticking to 3 chords or something. But it's even cooler that you didn't know that you were breaking the rules and that you
I feel like it gets me to a certain point, and then it's like, okay.
yeah.
But when
need to know.
we
Hey,
talk about breaking the
it's-
rules, it's just by like American standards. Because
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I grew up Jewish, and like the Jewish music, what you're saying, the A minor with a D, or I get was
Yeah, D, E, A minor.
yeah, like those two like kind of go together in that. I would say like A minor and E major, like which you
Okay.
wouldn't expect necessarily in the
Yeah.
major scale. You know?
Like
Yeah.
a dominant 7.
And then you go to
yeah.
India, and they have like
a whole
a
nother
whole
type
other
of
thing.
scale.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they probably think that like our music's weird. Like
Yeah, the way it sounds, like it doesn't feel like intuitive,
Yeah.
but it feels intuitive to us.
We talked about that not long ago. We were talking about like music theory and like how it is in Western cultures, I guess you could say, like Europeans and Americans, and we utilize this one type of music theory. But the truth is there's tons of different kinds. There's Bea Troxel's music theory. There's Micah's. There's Leah behind the camera over there, my lovely wife. And then like everybody utilizes some different idea to make a song or make music in general, but I was just curious. I thought that you'd oh yes, I majored in classical.
Yeah, we both thought you were really
No.
really versed.
That's
Yeah.
very nice. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
No.
Oh yeah, we mean that in the best way.
No,
Like it.
yeah.
Yeah, it sounds
Well,
really.
now that you're not, you could leave.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do that. Wait, so are you both trained in?
You go first, because he's the actual. He has like almost a degree.
Yeah, like I went to school and learned a lot music theory, but I'm not a classical trained musician. Or yeah, I don't have a. I'm just not classically trained, but I've learned a lot about theory at school.
Okay.
But well, let's talk about this. Let's talk about your songwriting. Okay, so I'm not like when I listen to songs and music in particular, or just anytime I listen to music, it's hard for me to just hear the words because I'm listening to music, and I think that like your album, like it's great music, but I really don't know what each song means, and if anything, I guess like, well, what is When I Lean? Like, what is that song about?
I wrote it about like. It came out of the idea of being afraid that when you lean too much into something, it's not going to be able to catch you. Like when I lean too much. That like fear of being too much.
Yeah.
Looking for another thing to trust.
Yeah.
And kind of grappling with that throughout the song.
To where you think of like it's about you emotionally leaning into something too much.
Mm-hmm.
Like yeah.
Yeah. Which I feel like a lot of the songs are about.
Yeah.
Oh, am I too much?
Well,
I got you.
yeah. Doing well is that
Oh, getting where?
getting
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Doing
that,
well.
Doing well.
Is it the one about traveling?
No. But that one I felt like is positive.
Mm-hmm.
And what you're saying almost sounds kind of negative. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like there's more than just that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, because you said they're basically all like that. But I feel like you have range of things going on in that album.
Yeah. I wrote Getting Where because someone, like this kind of like person in Austin who like has helped support my music was like, you need to write a happy song. The next song you write, it's got to be a hit. It's got to be a bop. And he's like, all these songs are sad. And so I was like, I kind of like don't fundamentally agree with what you're saying. However, I'm going to try.
You did it for the
that's when I wrote
exercise.
Yeah. And it turned,
It's really good.
It felt like a nuanced happy. I was like, I can't be fully.
You can't be do you think as an artist you can't be happy? You're not allowed to be happy?
No, I think I can be.
Yeah.
But
do you thrive on pain and struggle and
I hope not. I don't like that narrative.
yeah, I agree with that.
But I do think I connect more with songs that have that.
Well, how did you do during COVID when everything was locked down? Were you writing a lot, or were you like, I can't write right now?
I wrote a little bit. I wrote when it first lockdown, when the lockdown first happened, my friend and I did a song a day exercise for a week.
How'd that go?
It was good.
Are any of those going to see the light of day?
I don't think any of those will, but then I was in a quarantine collective and we had like a prompt every week and had to create a new thing, and I wrote a song about Riverdale, which you all I think heard.
Oh yes.
Yeah, and I feel like that's my favorite thing.
Oh, the TV
I wrote.
show.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing I wrote during
I've actually never seen that show, but I like the premise that it was so much
love, so much sex and no consequence. So
that is, man, there's a lot of. Is it a Netflix show?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You should not watch it. It will not make you feel good.
I tried to watch Sex Education one time, and that's definitely
that one.
yeah. That one's definitely like just a lot of sex going on.
Yeah.
It's a lot of teen drama, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That one at least has cohesive plot lines, though.
Yeah. We've been watching You. That's
Is it good?
It is good. It's very it's bad because you empathize with a killer. But besides that part, the plot is
That's the
good.
whole, that's,
yeah.
you know, The Sopranos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
We murder so bad, but I will watch it for, several
you always-
hours.
You know.
Have you watched? I'm totally going off topic. Have you watched
We're
the
okay.
Squid Game?
I have not. Everyone's telling me, but when something's popular, I'm like, I'm not. Nope.
I
Okay.
did.
I'm
You
one of
stay
those
out.
guys.
Yeah.
I did.
When it dies out, I'll see it.
Okay.
Let
I
me
haven't
ask-
watched it.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Oh, okay.
But
Well,
my students, I teach high schoolers, and they have watched it, and I was like, what? But I
yeah.
don't know that much.
Have your high
It's pretty
schoolers
violent,
heard your
right?
music? Do
Yeah,
they
it's
know
fine.
about it?
They do.
Are you
yeah.
Miss B or
Yeah,
Miss Troxel?
B.
Miss
Yeah.
B. Oh my God, Miss B has music.
Yeah, some
Miss
of them are
B.
coming to my release show this weekend.
Really?
Yeah.
How old are they?
I teach middle and high
So with their
school.
fake IDs is what you're saying.
No, it's an all ages. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
No, I would feel weird about that.
You teach English lit?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I
Yeah.
think we read that somewhere because we, stalked.
Yeah, and
Before.
no, we read your bio. You collect.
Oh yeah, I
cicadas.
changed that randomly. Yeah, I do.
Cicadas.
I have like 12 on my bookshelf.
What is
right
that?
now.
What does that mean?
They're just so beautiful.
Like a dead
Yeah,
cicada.
dead cicada. But I have at times collected live ones.
Okay, what
accidentally.
what if there's a cicada that collected dead humans? What do you think about that?
I don't know. Is that like a cicada living in a funeral home?
I don't
Like
know.
thinks it's collecting.
I don't know. I've just
Yeah,
never
like
heard
he-
of collecting
he
dead
wonders.
things. Maybe I'm.
Like
Well,
collect insects.
Well, is it 12 different kinds of cicada?
No, they're all.
Oh,
Okay. Some are from the Brood X this summer from Louisville. Were you all in any of the cities where they were just like you'd be biking? They were like, donk.
yeah, that was like a few weeks ago. Like there were a few I'd seen here. But where'd you say?
In like Louisville, in parts of the U.S., they would just were like everywhere. Like my friend would wear a mask biking because they would get in her mouth.
Yeah. Oh.
So she froze a bunch and then brought
Did you
them
eat
to
any?
me. No. I haven't
that was
eaten
the thing.
cicadas. Yeah, I haven't done that. It tastes like shrimp, ground shrimp. That's what
Oh,
it's
Really?
called.
ground shrimp. Mm.
Yeah.
Interesting. You someone you know tried it?
No one that I know tried it.
Just
Someone
on
a
YouTube?
Podcast
Yeah.
tried it. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I mean, I've had crickets before. Have you
Is it
ever
good?
eaten it?
Mm-mm.
It tastes like shrimp tempura. Like it just tastes like crunchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the texture.
But about the cicada thing, you just have a bunch of dead insects on your bookshelf.
Yeah, on display.
I guess
Nice.
that is cooler than like if I came over and you had a pet tarantula. I think that's kind of creepy.
Yeah, I think that's creepy too.
Yeah.
How do you feel about pet snakes?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I want to like a pet snake, but it's hard. It's hard to like accept it. I'm terrified. I'm just terrified of
Yeah.
snakes.
I don't mind having like. I mean, I wouldn't have that because I would go for a dog before I get a snake. You know,
Mhm.
obviously, I'd like a pet that is happy with being a pet.
Yeah.
But if I went to a girl's house and she had a snake, I don't think I'd be running away so as quickly as a tarantula.
Got it.
If we hit it off, the bar's going well. We get back to her place. If there's a tarantula, that might be a red flag.
Yeah.
But the
I
snakes
feel
are.
that.
Snake is somewhat more
It's
normal, I feel.
borderline.
Yeah, it's like it's on the She's probably a tattoo artist or something. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a persona around having a pet snake.
Is there?
I feel like there is in my brain.
I've seen like YouTube videos of people who like collect snake venom to do different things with it. I don't know.
Yeah, no, there's. I think it may be snake venom or horse blood. I think one of those fights
Really?
against like you getting bit by a snake,
Really?
and like you need something like an antidote. I think it's horse blood or more snake venom somehow.
Could we talk for a minute about snake churches? Because he's told me about this thing. Do you know about this?
Like snakes in churches?
Snakes in churches?
No, like
they-
the rattlesnake
rattlesnake-
churches.
No.
Oh man.
See, I'm from the north, so I'm new to the whole Bible Belt.
Well,
thing.
I do want. I
Oh.
want to get back to your songwriting, but I'll tell you about.
I know. I want to. Sorry. I did this.
Yeah.
You'd rather talk about snake churches?
No, we can talk. I just am curious. It's not like a church that has to do with snakes. It's like a bunch of snakes together.
So no. It's a church, like a place that worships Judeo-Christian God, and they take up snakes to prove that they are
yes,
believers. Yeah. So like it's like churches in Alabama. It's illegal in Tennessee. There's some in
Wait, it's
Kentucky.
legal in Alabama. In Alabama, you could legally do it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like 2 churches I think that are, recognized. But it's like a Bible verse. I forget what it is, but it's like the verses, and they took up serpents. And so like that's somehow a part of the faith. It like proves that you are faithful to God by picking up rattlesnakes. They drink poison too, strychnine. And it's a testament of faith.
Yeah.
But,
So that's a red flag.
Yeah.
If she goes to rattlesnake.
He goes around. Well, so as an English lit teacher, I imagine that you are influenced a lot in your songwriting by authors. Would you? Okay. Who would you say is like a big influence on your songwriting? Maybe I guess on other songwriters
or poetry
as well, or poetry. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess like what do you find the most appealing to you in English lit? I guess for your songwriting, if you've even thought about that.
That's a good question. I feel like songs are often like synthesizing of whatever's going on in my brain, and so if I've been reading a book and analyzing it, which is like very exciting to me, then the song comes out of that. But I'm trying to think of songs that have come out of that. I feel like it's whatever is kind of like on the top of my brain at the time. It's not like, but like literature that I think of that has influenced me a lot, like is Terry Tempest Williams. She wrote When Women Were Birds. It's like environmental nonfiction. It's a memoir about her.
How old?
How old is the book?
Is it like
It's
70s, 80s?
No, like
Early?
2010.
Ooh, contemporary
Recent.
shit.
Yeah. Yeah, but I feel like a lot of my songwriting's environmental, just in imagery, and I think that comes from reading.
Do you
a lot of
prefer
environmental
contemporary stuff over?
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably read more contemporary stuff. Like I love Middlemarch and.
Do you like the transcendentalists because you're into environments and nature?
I don't know. Wait, who would that be?
Like
Thoreau and Emerson.
Yeah.
I think they're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like. I was an English lit major and
Okay.
shit, and I did it because it was easy A's. Like,
yeah.
I did not think like looking back, I feel like our kids should be learning how to do their taxes, not reading The Great Gatsby in high school. But like,
Yeah.
I at the same time, I love reading newer books, but I always hated reading old shit because like it just was hard. When you're in high school, you're like,
I feel like it doesn't hit in high school when you read it, and
They
then
should-
you read
yeah.
it later, and you're like, oh my gosh.
it makes more because
Yeah.
because you understand the context now and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like in high school they should be just giving kids like Harry Potter and shit because the kids would enjoy reading.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, but yeah. So do you prefer that kind of stuff when you're reading?
Yeah, I could go either way. I feel like it is definitely more energy to read older stuff.
So is that in terms of like when you write, do you look to the classics or are you like, I feel like,
Songwriting wise, I feel like I look to like Joni Mitchell.
yeah, I heard that.
Yeah. Laura Marling.
I know who that
She's
is.
contemporary. She's great. Innocence Mission in Arrangement. Sufjan Stevens
Yeah.
was like fundamental.
Oh,
Bob
yeah.
Dylan. So I feel like it's like the folk movement of like the 60s, 70s, and then contemporary folk.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sufjan Stevens is in that. He's influenced a lot of artists that I like, but I don't really listen to
Really?
Sufjan that much. Yeah.
I think of him as like,
Time out. Oh my gosh, I get so confused, man. There's Cat Stevens.
Oh, yeah.
Is that
If you
that's
want, no, that's
No.
different. He did
Okay.
the soundtrack for Harold and Maude.
Harold? What's that?
It's a movie about a like 18-year-old boy that falls in love with a like 70-year-old woman.
Oh, okay.
But it's really tender and sweet.
Yeah.
It's like surprisingly innocent.
Yeah, I gotcha. Is this like
But he does the soundtrack for that.
Okay, gotcha.
but to me, he's more pop rock
Yeah.
than like folk.
Yeah, definitely.
Sufjan or Cat? Who would?
Sufjan.
Oh.
Cat?
Oh.
Are we talking about? Oh, shit.
Okay. Wait, so Sufjan is more
Rewind.
pop? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was thinking of like Illinois.
Yeah.
That one
Oh.
feels less pop. That's more like.
That's
folk
like
soft.
All Things Go.
Yeah. All things. And then like his more recent stuff is
But that doesn't he have is he Young Folks? Is that him? The song Young Folks?
I don't know. I don't know.
I feel like well I also feel like genres are like whatever.
Yeah.
Like they but I just always thought of him as pop, and it's interesting to put that. I have to go back to his catalog now because you're putting it in with like Joni Mitchell and Bob Dylan, which is interesting.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have.
I just discovered them at the same time, so they feel connected in my brain.
Interesting.
But
how old were you when you discovered them all?
that was like mid-high school. My dad used to play Bob Dylan on the drive to school, and I hated it. And then it was like, as I listened more, I was like, oh, I think I actually like it.
Yeah, that was very similar to my mom was a big
Really?
Dylan fan. And like, I mean, we'd go on road trips and it would be like the essential Bob Dylan CD that would be playing. And I'd just like, duh.
Yeah.
No, I remember liking Bob Dylan when my dad put that shit on growing up, and not liking not liking the Beatles. Like I felt like that was as a kid I was like, that's for kids. You know, like
I could see that.
like you hear Yellow Submarine and you're like, I don't want to listen to this music, it's cheesy. And then I got older and I'm like, you start to see that they're way more complex than that. But I was like, Bob Dylan, that's adult stuff, I like that, you know.
Yeah.
Well, Joni Mitchell is a fairly new avenue for me to travel, like as far as listening to her stuff. I guess Blue is like the most important work for her. But I tried to listen. I listened to that whole thing not long ago, and I didn't realize this, but she what's that song about the parking lot?
Pay Paradise.
Yeah.
Bob Dylan has a version of that, by the way.
I thought
Really?
I thought that was
really
a
good.
Counting Crows song. There's a Counting Crows version of that, and
Oh yeah, that's true.
how wrong I was.
And they totally they kind of ruined the song in a way, because like the song is a very lyrical and deep song, and they turned it into this like
Yeah, come on. Hop in the back of my truck. Let's go watch Shrek 2.
But what's interesting about Joni, she's so vocal, heavy in the vocals. Do you have, are you vocally trained at all? Did you? No.
Man,
What?
No.
just you're a great
impressive,
singer.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just a little bit. Like I took some lessons. In
Oh,
high
okay,
school.
now it's coming out.
Yeah.
Okay, I went to school
Okay,
for
5
vocals.
years.
I was a vocal major. No. Yeah.
I did
I
opera.
took a few
I went on tour with a jazz group.
I feel like growing up in Nashville, you just like were trained in.
Did you grow up in Nashville?
Mhm.
Oh.
Interesting. What's
Yeah.
that like? Was the streets always like people playing in the streets, or that's just only downtown?
Well, downtown was not hopping when I was growing up.
Really?
Yeah, it was. People didn't really go downtown, but there were definitely buskers. Is that what you mean?
I just feel like
I think that's what he said.
yeah, but it's like just everywhere you go, there's people playing live music. In New York, you don't see instruments. You see like DJs. You see like
Like Roberts and how like all the
Just everywhere-
bars down there.
all the bars have live music,
And like
yeah.
the airport.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's always been like that.
Okay, cool.
Which
That's what-
I never thought. I did not think I was gonna do music, because I was just like, everyone can do it really well here. Like, there's no reason for
Yeah.
me to do this. Yeah.
So it actually intimidated you. It made you go the other way.
Yeah.
So then what changed?
I worked a job out of college that I really didn't like, and I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And I had these songs that I'd written, and I'd been playing a lot of shows.
What was the job?
I was working at a food bank as a food stamps helpline associate. So I'd sign people up for food stamps over the phone.
Okay, I'm sure you got some material out of it.
Yeah, I heard a lot of stories.
A lot of sob stories.
Yeah.
Yeah,
stories.
it's like when you. So were you in charge of like approving people for getting food stamps?
No,
or?
we were like, that would be really awful. I would have a hard time with
that's
that job.
that's a sad.
This was like the in between. So we like basically reached out to people who were eligible, and then were like, you're eligible for this. If you want to sign up, you can.
Yeah. Man, I remember I was playing with a band and the band manager told us to sign up for food stamps. And I remember like being in a line with a bunch of other people. And I was like, man, I don't know if I can do this. You had to like bring 2 pieces of mail and like have a lot of other info. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I really was, to me, it was like, for one, I was like, I felt wrong doing it because I was like, I think I can make it without. But it really is a lot of work to just get some food.
It's a lot of work to like maintain food stamps. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you have to mail stuff in all the time. And
Yeah.
It's a full-time job, is what you're saying.
yeah. Yeah.
If you're gonna be on food stamps, you better have
Yes.
the time.
Yep.
Okay.
Now
That's good.
You had a show this Monday?
Oh yeah, I played a Nancy Griffith tribute
Oh.
show.
I don't
Have
even
you
know.
listened to her?
Okay.
No.
Fill us in.
Is that's a country person?
She's like folk country.
Cool.
And she passed away last month.
Really?
Mhm.
COVID?
man.
Not COVID. I think she just had some health complications. But she like sang with John Prine, lots of other people.
John Prine.
John Prine.
We'll just say
I believe
Loretta
you.
Lynn, Dolly Parton, all the people.
Yeah.
Well-
But it was really cool. I just played one song, a cover of hers. And then
Cool.
There
What song?
There were like 20 people. Across the Great Divide. Do you know that song?
That's the
It's
band.
not
Is
her
it,
song.
It's the band, right?
No, is it the I've been walking,
In
Oh.
that
sleep, counting troubles. Oh man,
I love that song.
that's her song. I did not
It's
know
not. It's actually not her song. It's Kate Wolf's song, and then she covers it. Do you know Kate Wolf?
that. I know Kate Wolf.
Who's Kate Wolf?
Kate Wolf is a
A folk musician. I don't know much about her.
It was like in the 60s, 70s.
Yeah.
But she was like bluegrass borderline too.
Yeah, I feel like she'd be in like folk circles, like singing in little barns.
I dig
with
that.
other
She is like
people.
a folk legend to folk legends.
Yes.
Would you say
she's
that?
a very
Like a Pete Seeger?
minuscule group of people.
Yeah,
It's
like
the folk musician.
yes,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Bob Dylan would say, that's one of the best of all time.
Yeah.
She did that song, and it came up randomly on my Spotify one time, and I knew it was her because I had on show. But is that 2020 Vision song?
I
You
don't
ever?
know that one.
Oh man, right in 2020, and it's 2020 Vision, still walking around blind, and it was just talking about people at that time. It was a lot of, I don't know, like the real protests going on, but she was talking about like the environment and like burning fuels and chopping down trees and stuff. 2020 Vision, still walking around. You should listen to that. It's 2020 Vision, Kate Wolf. It's a good one, and it's just a product of that time. I guess it was the 60s, talking about trees and the environment. But no, it was really cool because it was just contextually to 2020. It's just like there are a lot of people walking around blind in 2020.
Yeah, it's very true.
Yeah, but yeah, she's awesome. She's awesome.
Great. Yeah.
Nancy Griffin. What, you don't know any more songs by her?
She wrote "Love at the Five and Dime." If you know that one.
Well, did you play with a full band?
No.
So, were there any full bands, or it was just a bunch of
It was a bunch of
nice
people,
individuals?
but it was like, do you know Tom Paxton?
Should I?
I didn't know who he was either, but he played at that, and he was in the Greenwich Village folk movement. Played with like Bob Dylan.
Oh,
and
from back in
stuff.
the day.
Yeah, I had no idea, and then I was looking him up after, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like he's like Pete Seeger kind of era.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. So yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
thought of when you said Nancy
Griffith.
Griffith. I assume
Uh-huh.
that's like a Pete Seeger type.
Yeah, she's
Gee.
that, but she's just a little younger. Or recent. Yeah.
Contemporary. Yeah.
Yeah,
Modern.
contemporary,
I got
yeah.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever heard of so my uncle, he's like, he was a welder all his life, and he was really into like those union songwriters like Pete Seeger and this guy named Utah Phillips. You ever heard of him? Oh man, he did a lot of songs that were like union, like chants, I guess you could say. But like all of his songs were about, my boss sucks and that we need to unionize. And
there is
there's
a Woody Guthrie song about Trump's dad being his landlord and like him shitting on him for being racist from like the 1930s.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
It's like called you like screw you, Mr. Trump or something.
Wow.
About a different.
It's about Trump's dad as his landlord and how he wouldn't let black people live in his building.
Oh my gosh.
And it's like from like the 30s or
Wow.
40s.
Hold
yeah.
up. The Fred Trump?
Yeah.
I didn't know he was that rich that long.
Well, it happened to be that Woody Guthrie, I think, lived in one of his. I want to look this up. Lived in one of his buildings
Yeah.
at one point, and he wrote a song about him.
Prophetic.
Yeah. Right.
Hey, I know we're like 30 minutes in, but like when y'all talk, keep it like right about here.
Old Man
Sometimes
Trump is the song. That's it. It's written in 54. I lied, not the 30s. It's written in
That makes
1954.
more sense.
Yeah. That's still cool though. Like it's
Just small world, really, if you think about it. But also, like, I feel like, oh, maybe not. Yeah, it is a big world. I was gonna say maybe there's only like so many real estate magnates back in the day when they were but I feel like when it just said coincidentally he lived there. So
Yeah.
maybe it is.
Yeah,
According to
that
Wikipedia, it's just coincidence.
yeah. Well, what does Wikipedia know?
Do you
It could
you ever hear Charles Manson's music?
No.
He was a
Oh.
folk singer. You know
Okay.
that?
What's
No.
sad is he, first off, lyrically, as you'd expect,
Yeah.
it's very bad.
Out there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's just like, it's love songs, but they're very poorly written.
Okay.
But give credit where it's due. Charles Manson was not a bad singer.
Yeah.
Yeah. His voice is not half bad. It's just, he's a terrible human and all that stuff.
Yeah, but I remember like playing the song once for my mom, like one of his songs, and she's like, "Who is this? Sounds like some like 60s folk thing." Like she was like, "Who is this?" And then I was like, "You don't want to know." Yeah, you.
Trust me, you're not a fan.
People have covered. I can't remember who covered it.
There's a Guns N' Roses cover
Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
That's who covered it. Yeah.
Okay.
from the spaghetti incident. I don't know why that's an album that's named that.
Oh, that's. I
And
thought it
it's
was
like
just an
spaghetti.
incident. I was like, I don't know about that incident.
Of 1991, the spaghetti incident.
And there's like
Rest in
spaghetti
peace,
on the
those-
cover, I think,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
interesting.
You know, there's a band, the String Cheese Incident.
No.
Oh, really? It's like a jam band, like
Did
Fish
not know that.
type
Okay.
band. Yeah.
outside of folk, what would you say is like a genre that you gravitate towards?
I really like folk. What do I gravitate? I like some classical music.
Really? I feel like that's the one everyone who says I like everything, and then I go, "Do you like classical?" They're like,
No.
"Well, yeah, I don't like
Yeah.
everything."
But I wouldn't be able to say like what. I don't have like the knowledge. Like if you're like
You can-
SETI.
Yeah, I think if you have the knowledge, you're Hannibal Lecter or the fucking Clockwork Orange. You're
Yeah.
psychopath.
Yeah. But
But
you
I
can.
do-
I was gonna say you can turn into NPR at late at night and
Oh,
just
yeah.
be okay with that.
Listen to
Yeah.
You ever work out to classical music? It's really
Oh.
weird. It's interesting. Yeah. It's like you're running and it's so epic. You're like, whoa.
You need like Chariots of Fire.
Yeah.
Classical.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
That's pretty
Other
killer-esque
genres.
though. If you worked out the classical, if I saw somebody working out the classical, I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
they're gonna kill somebody. Somebody's gonna
Yeah.
die. Dun, 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 dun,
Well,
dun,
we were talking about this recently. It's interesting to me that classical was like most things evolved to be more complicated. Music like evolved to be less complicated. We went from classical to
Right.
wet ass pussy. It's like
Right.
it's like it went the complete opposite of
Yeah.
I don't know,
Totally.
it's just interesting.
Yeah.
Wop. Yeah.
But-
Speaking of that, I do like pop. I love like Olivia Rodrigo.
Okay,
Oh,
but let's get
you-
this out. Taylor or Miley then. If you have to pick one.
Well, Taylor.
Oh, you're local. Well,
Well,
But-
she's a great songwriter too.
She's a great song.
Yeah.
I've never
Team
been
Miley
like
here.
I feel like really.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of friends that are like obsessed with Taylor Swift.
I don't have an opinion, but my sister does, so I have to say it.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, Miley.
Yeah.
She,
Team Miley, represent.
I've never heard that competition.
Me
Really?
neither.
Yeah,
No, it's a
those
thing.
stupidity.
They have beef too.
Really?
Yes.
No,
a
there's
I
people. It really does get underappreciated, like the pop scene. Like there's value in those songwriters, and the music as well. And
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, Taylor is definitely, I played a wedding the other day, and the girl that was getting married, like, she didn't think I knew any songs. She was asking if I knew any Pine Grove songs, and I was like, yeah, I do. So I started playing like the Old Friend song and Aphasia, and then like I was reading the words to Aphasia, so it was pretty tough. But eventually, when we got through that, she was like, okay, I know you know all that indie stuff, but do you know Shake It? No, not Shake It Off. What's the Blank Space? It's not Shake It Off. Yeah,
As
Blank
long as
Space.
she didn't
no.
ask, we're never ever getting back together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at the wedding.
That'd have been the wrong
I mean, in
time.
general, that song. I'm just
Yeah.
not a fan.
Well,
That
Yeah.
I did do Blank Space, which probably isn't an appropriate wedding song.
What's
either.
that? What's the? How does that go?
That one's I got a blank space, baby. Yeah. You go up thing. Yeah.
I hear humming, but I don't hear what what you're humming.
I've got a blank space, baby. Not
And I
much
write your
in it.
name. You've never heard that?
I think I have. I need to hear. What's the
Mm-hmm.
chorus? How's it go?
It's that. I've got a blank space, baby.
And I'll write your name. That's That's
I think you guys should sing it
scary.
together. I
That's
think you guys
scary.
should grab the guitar.
Oh,
and you
no.
guys should sing.
Hang my phone over there.
I feel like it sounds familiar.
You know this.
I know it's on the 1985 album, but
Is it on? Oh, I like that one a lot.
yeah, that's
the
one.
Ryan. Ugh, I really loved the Ryan Adams cover album.
Yeah,
But
so
I-
that's how I'm familiar. That's how I'm more familiar with it.
Yeah, that's how I came to really like her songwriting. And then now I'm like, I can't listen anymore to the Ryan
Yeah.
Adams.
Yeah, I hear that. I hear
No.
what you're saying because it becomes like a gimmick almost like.
No,
Yeah.
he's a
well, and just for who he is.
yeah.
Yeah, but I'm a big separate artist. Like Michael Jackson's goes on a lot in my house.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like
Yeah. Yeah, I think Ryan Adams. It doesn't feel like I feel like it's not hard. It's easy enough to not listen to him.
He's not
I don't
good
have to
enough
deal with
that-
that. Yeah. Yeah. No.
he's really
that
not
is-
good enough that it matters. Like
Yeah,
Michael Jackson's
I'm like, I would
next
prefer
level
to just
shit.
not. And he's still alive.
I hear that. Yeah, why support him? Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
You've never heard this?
It sounds familiar. I'm really under a rock. Wait, go to the chorus.
See, she doesn't. Oh, did I just do it? Yeah. Please don't sue us, Taylor.
Is this like, and it's gonna be forever?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I remember this song.
And the better thing
I knew it
about
sounded
her
familiar. Okay, cool.
is she doesn't do creepy stuff to women, unlike Ryan Adams.
Yep.
So, go Taylor.
Yeah.
You didn't hear about that?
What?
The
Wait,
Ryan-
his wife? No, he was like he was abusing his wife by sabotaging her career, by belittling her and making
But
her.
also
No.
stuff with minors.
Really?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Did he date Phoebe Bridgers?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Still, like, and she's the one that exposed it. She was
Yeah.
like saying like he, like
Emotional or emotions sick. What's it? I
Motion
have
sickness.
Emotions.
Oh, that's about him.
Mhm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What?
There's a lot of douchey crap about him that people
There's
have come
like a-
out.
Well, he's
about.
not good
New York
enough, though.
Times
That's the
article about him. Yeah.
I remember when that happened. I didn't read the article, but I remember he got
Yeah.
sabotaged.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, I'm like a huge Louis C.K. fan, and like,
I don't know enough about that one.
well, either
Well,
way,
is that
I
the one
don't
Tig
care.
It wasn't
Notaro
great.
Did the
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah. So here's the thing. I don't care about it because I'm such a big fan. I don't want to learn about it. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, once I hear that, because I growing up, I said it already, I'm Jewish. Grew up listening to Woody Allen. My parents were like the biggest Woody Allen fan, and then we watched the HBO thing, and I'm like, oh, I can't watch Woody Allen anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't want that to happen with Louis. So I'm just like staying the hell away from it.
Staying away. Yeah.
Same.
It's important to pay attention to the stuff though. Like at least acknowledge that something bad happened.
Oh, for sure. But I want to separate the art from the artist in general, because I don't want someone to judge my shit based on who I am, because I've been saying this for years. Like, my kids are going to be like, yo, dad is such a homophobe. He's never sucked a dick. Like, that's where we're going in the world. So no matter what,
like,
it's
because you haven't experienced it.
yeah,
you're
like
bad.
No, I just think the world is going to go into like this, like, no matter what, I'm going to be judged poorly. So I'd rather just be art judged based on that. Because, like, the same shit with, like, I'm sure Leonardo da Vinci fucked some little kids too, or some shit, back in the day. I don't know, but I'm pulling, I'm sure we look into all this stuff.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of...
Picasso was apparently like a big misogynist.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of problems with different, people from the past. But it's like when you know about the people now, it's like it kind of makes it...
I feel like when they're alive, it's different.
That's where it's like, why should we be supporting them? That I understand.
Yeah. Like R. Kelly is like, I don't want him to make money, like, in jail.
What
like,
if
get out of jail and all of a sudden he
What
makes
if the money
money
went to the victims, though? Can we listen to R. Kelly then? Like,
well, that's not the reality.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
Yeah. What if though?
That would be a good deal.
Actually,
way to deal with it. Yeah.
that would be a great deal if Ryan Adams changed all his royalties to go to the victims that he, affected. I'd listen to Ryan Adams. It'd be great.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I feel like he would still undergo so much criticism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it'd still be fame with no.
Oh yeah, like he'd still like capitalize on the whole thing.
What do you mean?
Like he would still be receiving, like all of that praise would be going to his name, even if he wasn't getting all the money. It's then like monetizing.
Yeah, because then he can go make shows and stuff. And yeah, I see what you're saying.
Like if the money goes somewhere, then it's okay, rather than like still having a name. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have a fully formed opinion on.
That's all right. If anything,
The reason his music's you can't separate is because he plays this gentle guy in his music. Like, he's so...
Whoops.
Oh, Ryan Adams.
Yeah. Something about a release show.
Mark.
Yeah.
When are you having a release show?
This Saturday.
Oh, my goodness. It's a good thing I thought about that, and my fantastic, smart friend, Miss Leah, did not show that to me. Okay, well, that's cool. So you haven't released the album?
I have released it.
Oh, but
the release show got rained out last month.
Oh.
Because it's outside.
Gotcha.
So is it outside this time?
Mm-hmm.
I hope it doesn't rain. I don't know.
It's not
Nashville.
supposed to. Don't do that.
It changes by the hour.
Find the wood.
I know.
I think that's made out of wood. Maybe. That's probably got wood in it. That little lamp has wood on it. We'll just pretend. Yeah.
So were you friends with the
not really
other bands at the Paper Boy? Paper Boat? Paper Boy? Paper Boat?
We tried to figure that out. What is the name?
Paper Boat.
It is Paper
Boat.
Is it Paper Boats?
It's just Paper Boat.
Just Paper Boat. Okay.
So are you... There were a bunch of bands there. Did you know all those?
Joey, who played, was my college boyfriend.
Oh,
that was a mishap.
The kind.
This will be a podcast. So.
On the record, yo. He's the one who kind of sounded like Pavement-ish a little bit. Yeah.
He's the first guy. Yeah.
Okay, he was good.
He's good. He's a really good songwriter.
But he was a mistake as a
lover. He's not a mistake. Us all being on the Built together was not planned.
Oh, that was the mistake. The relationship wasn't
No, yeah. I'm not
Just put it on record.
I hate him.
Just for the record, I put him on the bill with me, but I do not want to have.
We both ended up on it, and it was like, how on earth did
just
this
coincidence.
happen? Yeah.
Okay.
It was yes. But, so I know him, and then Paperboat I know very well. Jacob I know very well. I've known for 6 years at this point.
Yeah, he's an interesting dude.
I love Jacob.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever met anybody like him in my life.
Yeah, when
I appreciate that.
Met him, he was sitting in a car looking at Pavement And I was like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm just watching
That's
the
how you
way
met
this
him.
water is running down the sidewalk.
Really?
Yeah.
And he probably wasn't even high. He was probably
Nope.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Just thinking.
just another day.
No, I love Jacob.
We had a conversation once. We were just like talking about like all this music theory stuff, and then like it turns to him, and he's like, "Do you think birds use music theory?"
Yeah.
When they sing? And I was just like, "Whoa, that's deeper than I thought." Like,
Oh yeah, he'll go yeah. He's wise.
He
He's very wise.
yeah, he lives. I don't think he lives that far. Him and
yeah, he's pretty close to here.
what's his
Mick?
no.
Because Mick doesn't live with
His
Mia?
girlfriend.
Yes.
Mia lives.
That's
She lives somewhere else.
Okay. I didn't want to say girlfriend. I didn't know if they were dating or not.
They
but-
are. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we had a Seder with them.
Seder.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you were part of that. Okay.
Yes,
Nice.
yeah. We had that. We actually filmed it, but that was a lot of fun. But Jacob and Mia were both a part of it.
They're
But
wonderful.
yeah, they are. They're really cool. I saw them at Publix one time.
Really?
Yeah, and I pulled it. This is the second time I saw them. I'm gonna tell you the first time I saw Jacob, but the second time I saw him was them together in the parking lot at Publix, and I rolled up. I was like, "What's going on?" And they're like, "Oh, dude!" And they came up and they both grabbed my arm in the car, and I was like, "Oh!" And they're like, "What's up?" I was like, "I'm good."
She's getting
Not
his
like-
mannerisms. It sounds.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't
much time
weird.
together.
It wasn't weird. It was just like they both grabbed my arm at the same time.
Were they just like,
Yeah, no, it was. I think it was just they were like, "Oh man, good to see you," and like
Aw.
I just it was nice, but I was like, "Oh," but not that they grabbed my arm. It was at the same time they
Mhm.
grabbed it. And I was like, they were like in
But
sync with
also,
it.
I think COVID affects that shit. Like, I have been the most socially awkward in terms of how close to stand to people the past year.
Yeah.
I've been on a couple dates with this girl, and she keeps making fun of me that I don't like touching, and I'm like, no, I don't not like. I just don't know what is appropriate.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I don't know what you're cool with.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of that. Like when you texted about, "Hey, are there any COVID precautions?" I was like, me and Mike were like, "Man, not really." So we were just like,
Saran wrap
We were
out.
like,
Let's go.
"Let's get our hazmat
I
suits."
mostly was asking about vaccination, but
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
wanna.
I was gonna
No,
like
we're-
when you got here, I was gonna be like, "Can I see your vaccination card?"
Yeah.
You thought we were
Yeah,
serious.
actually, I'm not. No, I am.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, I'm not back. I just want to know if y'all were." Like,
If you are, get out.
yeah.
We don't allow any of that vaccine
No,
shit.
it would. I'm backed into a corner yet again.
Yeah, I
Oh.
tell you though, I went to a show the other night, and it was at a bar, and they made us all give the vaccine thing at first, and once you're inside, there's no difference. Like, I don't understand why it's a big deal. In like, I don't know. In New York, maybe it's a little different. Here, it's like I feel like everything's the same. I don't know.
What do you mean? Like
I went to
the
the venue.
way people act
as-
inside?
As
or-
soon as you got in, yeah, it was,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I didn't like. It was like, okay, so it's not even a big deal with the card, and it was like, I
Yeah.
could have faked it too. I took a screenshot. I took a picture of my card, and they were just like, okay, cool, you
Yeah.
know, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a when we did our show not long ago, they asked for the card, and they asked for the.
they were pretty strict. They
Yeah.
wanted ID to match the card
Yeah.
and everything. Yeah.
So
Where
they
was
did.
that?
That was at the East Room,
Okay.
and
Do you have a favorite venue to play at?
Were you here when the Radio Cafe was around?
I don't know what that is.
Like 3 years ago. That was my favorite venue to play.
yeah.
It's in East Nashville. Well, it's closed now, but it was an old auto repair shop,
Mhm.
and it had
Oh.
like all these old seats, and it really felt like a listening room.
Was
but
it
anyone could book a show there?
Was it coffee
Oh,
or was
yeah.
it beer vibes? Like, was it when you say cafe or
It
what?
wasn't a cafe. I mean,
Radio cafe. So like what?
oh, it was just a listening room.
Oh, so
Like
they
it was
didn't
like
even
this
say-
old crotchety man just would open it up, and
Oh, that is
it
so
was
quaint.
awesome. But the sound was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone could book a show there.
Like full
It
bands
felt
too.
Special. Yeah.
Where's
It was awesome.
Where's it at?
Do you know Back to Slide Vintage on Gallatin?
Sounds familiar.
We're having our fact checker.
It's right there. It's like right around the corner.
Oh.
Oh, is it?
It's pretty close. Yeah.
Wait, is it it's right in front of the...
No, that's
Okay. I gotcha.
But it's totally gone. It's
demolished?
no
Or, oh.
I
What
don't
about
know
that are
if
still around?
Where do I like to play now?
You
I
don't.
always have a hard time with that question.
Have you ever brought your guitar to school and played for the students? And you wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
I used to do that when I was a librarian. I had a student that loved to sing, and so I would, after school, we would play Billie Eilish covers.
That's cool.
It was awesome.
That's cool.
Cool.
And the Cranberries.
Oh, hell
I
yeah.
actually kind
Um,
of see the similarities now that you mention that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
She had way more knowledge of music than I did. Like,
The
she
kid?
was always introduced. Yeah, she was like, have you heard of this band? It would be like a classic band that I was like, no, I haven't listened to that.
Well, here you go, noob teacher.
Yeah.
No, there are a lot of people. Like, I remember being in high school and like probably having more knowledge of music then than now.
That's when you
because-
care
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, there's a lot to.
When you're just learning it all, yeah.
Yeah, you want to find as many bands as you can.
I like the high watt. Sorry, I'm trying to
Oh,
think
no,
of.
no,
I like
no.
the high watt, and I do like the East Room.
Yeah.
I think the East Room can be really great.
Do you prefer
Sure.
to have like sit down vibes or
I
like?
like sit down vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess your
But that's
music.
just because I would rather sit down at a show.
I'll tell you this,
than
like,
stand.
if I'm going to see a show and like when it's outside, how it was when we saw you for the Paper Boat release, that was
Fire.
that was the best vibe because
Yeah.
it's like the violin and cello and acoustic. It matched. Like, I think that is probably like the best setting. Like, me in particular, if you're gonna play like your type of style, like, I think it really matches out with outside. Do you don't prefer outdoors or?
I like playing outside. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I just feel like the sound can be
limiting.
hit or miss, but
Yeah.
I do like playing outside.
Yeah.
With outside, you kind of almost have to like not hear yourself and just assume
Mhm.
that like, because usually this sound is good, but you don't hear it as well.
I think it's just harder to like. When you're inside, you can read a room, or you're like, oh, I've got everybody, or I don't.
Mhm.
Outside, it's harder to
Yeah.
assess. It's harder to like feel that energy. I think.
Yeah, it's a little. I mean, it's still got the campfire-ness to it.
Yeah.
Like,
I
people
do
are
like
more
that.
prone to talking, probably.
For
'cause
sure.
it's
Yeah.
More
It's
open.
a good
and,
comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
But,
that's true.
let me ask you this: you've been in Nashville all your life, pretty much, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever do the Broadway thing?
No, me and Joey, the guy who played the show,
Yeah.
during college, we one time busked on Broadway. But
Okay.
it
You
really
make any
wasn't
money?
busy. I think we made like $40.
That's good.
That's
yo.
not bad.
Especially that was
Broadway.
Like, I'm
bust?
assuming over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
It was 9 years ago.
Okay, so we're like the same
Makes
age.
me feel a
We're
little
the
better.
same-
Yeah.
Okay,
Did
as long as we're the same age, I'm not like offending.
No,
you.
no. Yeah.
So you don't have any country music influence, you don't think, or?
I think I've started to like country music more now because I've been learning pedal steel,
Oh.
and so I've been listening to like a lot
Ryan
of pedal
Adams?
steel
No.
players. No. I was just listening to Charlie Pride, who I'd never really listened to
Yeah.
before, and his pedal steel player is amazing.
Yeah. How did man? That's a niche thing to get into is pedal steel because I don't know
It's the
one.
most beautiful instrument.
It's also like all
Absolutely.
ear, right? Like you have to hear that you're right.
It's so technical. It is so theory based. Is that what you
Yeah.
mean?
No, I meant like
It's
there's not.
bonkers.
I don't think there's frets, right? Like it just unlimited
are
amount of
frets.
notes. But usually with a slide,
Mm-hmm.
there's like more notes than there would be with the frets. There's like the notes in between the notes.
Oh
Right?
yeah, I have not gotten into that, but there are it's 10 strings. And
Okay.
then
Okay, that's a lot of
Yeah.
strings.
18 frets.
How,
20 frets.
How long you been doing that?
for like a year.
Have you recorded with it at all?
It's on Am I Safe on the album. That's me playing pedal steel.
Oh man, I gotta go back and listen to it.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
But I definitely am still. It's so hard.
Do you own a pedal
for
steel?
Sure.
How they're expensive now?
They are expensive. I can't remember how much this one was. But if you like the pedal steel community is very tight, and so I've met like 3 pedal steel players who like. When I expressed interest in playing, they were like, "Here's one for sale. You should buy this." Like they will just send it,
Yeah,
and like they'll mail you stuff, and they'll be like, "How's the steel going?" Like it's really wonderful.
Is there like jargon that's within it, or like certain words that you
totally, or like I'll be like, "This isn't working." I'll send a picture, and they're like, "Oh, okay. Here's what you've got to do."
That's
Like,
what I feel about the harp. Like how many harp?
Do you play the harp?
No, but how many
Okay.
harp players could there be? You
Not
know?
many.
Yeah, so I feel like
Yeah.
the community probably. If you're a harp player, you probably know all the other local.
You rally around
harp
each other.
players.
Yeah.
harp jargon?
Yeah.
I don't even know where to buy a harp.
Oh, Leah's giving us.
How'd you learn? Can you just bring it in?
Just bring it on,
in.
Leah.
Wait, do you like Joanna Newsom? Have you
I
listened
do.
to Joanna
Yes,
Newsom?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Speaking of the harp.
I like the. Yeah, she is like a good example of like plays the harp and it still sounds like modern music. Like doesn't sound like.
I love
some of
her
it does.
songwriting. Yeah.
She's cool.
Joanna
I like
Newsom.
the Good and Tensions Pavement
Mhm.
album. That
Mhm.
album's sick.
Yeah, that one's really good.
Oh, she said, "How'd you learn the logistics, releasing, distribution,
Ooh.
promo?"
Good question.
She's a lot better at this. Should have done it with her.
How did I learn? Just by, I played, so I did live in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania for 2 years after college. And
Nice.
I played in a band called Weird Year there. And that was like around the time, they're an amazing band. They're really good. But around the time I decided to like start touring and playing shows and recording was when I was playing in that band. And so I would ask the lead person in that band, like, what do you do? How do you book a show? How do you like, and then I read Ari Herstand's How to Make It in the New Music Business. And that was pretty much how I did my first album. I just was like, okay, I email these, you book a tour this far in advance. Like, this is how you registered it.
I am still ignorant to all that.
BMI.
I'm still learning all this.
It was really nice. It's just exhausting, I feel like.
I find that the more I do that, the less I care about the music part. So I try to
Yeah.
stay away from it. Because then
Yeah.
if I start focusing on Instagram, then I'm just going to care about that. You know?
Yeah. I keep it deleted except for once a day, which is why it probably
It's a
took me a
genius-
while to respond to your messages.
It's a great idea.
No, it
Yeah.
works. Like staying away. It's like people think that like if you use social media as much as you can, like that's how you can be successful in the music business. But the truth is, it's really about booking those shows and like I don't know, maybe you have a difference or Ari. I know who you're talking about, Hardstand or something. Hardstand.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just every
I know
time
you-
I'm working on Instagram, I'm like, Bob Dylan would hate me right now. Like, this is not what Bob Dylan would be doing.
Yeah, it's hard to figure out what's like a necessary evil and what things just don't matter.
I think
as
Hendrix
much.
would
Yeah.
have a YouTube channel. He would be doing some crazy
Yeah.
shit on YouTube.
Some people just love to do it. They don't want to stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Peter Frampton would have been good TikTok because he'd have done the talk
Wow,
box
wow.
and everybody would have heard from the first. Like, what's he
TikTok.
doing?
He still could.
That's a cancer for you right there.
I don't have a TikTok. Do you have TikTok?
No, but
I've
we
done
have a
more.
friend that like got TikTok famous over.
Was it Mick?
Oh,
Mick?
Mick got, but I'm talking about musician.
Oh, okay.
Who's
Um,
Mick?
Mick
He's
is
in
Paperboat.
He's
Oh.
the other half with the
The
long
one-
flowing hair.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Flowing hair.
His
I do know.
luscious locks. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
But got TikTok famous.
Tucker. But yeah, Tucker, but also Mick, good example. I just feel like that's another app to download, another responsibility, another thing, and I also don't trust China. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
but
there's a lot of burnout, I just feel like, around all that
I'm
stuff.
done with all of them, and like I just posted today for the band that I'm doing. Kind of what you were saying. Like I like the idea of post, delete, and then come back to it tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's a great idea. I think I might
Yeah.
do that. I might steal that from you.
Oh, I spend so much time on it. I just am addicted if I don't do that.
I woke up at 3 last night and I couldn't fall back asleep, so I just grabbed my phone. The next thing I know, it was like an hour later, and I've just been scrolling. I'm like, this is not good.
Yeah. I also turn my phone off at night.
It's a great idea. But that's what wakes me up, my phone.
Oh, I also have no notifications.
Really?
I obviously have no one very dependent on me.
See, here's the thing. Like, I would like to have an assistant that just does all this for me.
I know. Some people, yeah.
I don't not want to have a phone. I just would rather have a person next to me that handles the phone.
But how, like, toxic is it that, you, like, need to have enough wealth to hire someone to deal with your phone so that you're not addicted to it, so that you're not thinking
That's
about it all the time.
wow. That is just blew my mind.
There's, like, a level of privilege to not using your phone.
Well, you should also, there is a level of privilege to not using your phone, but you should also, it should be taught, because this is all new, to like stay away from your phone for like a certain X amount of time during the day.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how to.
Yeah.
They got to teach that shit. You were going to ask a question.
I was going to say, this is from Leah, once again.
The audience.
Yeah, the audience. We should have just let her have the whole thing.
Give her a mic.
Come on, Leah.
Give the women a
too late
voice.
now. Advice for writers who want to become artists. Do you have any advice for writers who want to become artists?
Writers who want to become artists, like how to move from writing into like performing and putting it in the world, not like how to move into writing.
I think Leah's talking about like songwriters that don't sing and record, but like just write songs.
My thing with that is that I don't think things necessarily feel right. Like, I don't think there's like a right time. Like, albums have never felt complete to me necessarily until they're done. And like playing a show at first didn't feel like I didn't feel ready, but I still did it. And so I feel like setting deadlines and like just playing a show and recording one song, like small steps, but creating deadlines or things that push you to finish the song to perform it or push you to complete the thing. Cause that at least for me has been the thing that's pushed me into putting
I need
my
more of
stuff
that
in the world.
I definitely need more of that in my life.
Cause I don't think there's a point where you're like, I am ready
to be an artist.
Yeah. Or like all my songs are ready and complete. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you were you a writer before you started singing, or were you kind of singing and playing shows before you started dabbling into songwriting?
It came at the same time. I started learning guitar so that I could write songs in the 10th grade. And that's why I learned guitar, was I just learned the Moldy Peaches, Your Part-Time Lover and a Full-Time Friend.
What?
Do you know that song?
From Juno?
Juno.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because it's just C and G. And then started writing songs and singing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the...
Would you say that your focus is primarily on songwriting? As like when you're trying to convey a message as an artist, like you do want people to, think that you sound nice, but you definitely want the message as the songwriting. You want that to be the primary focus, or do you like the idea of just artistry in general? Because like, I think that there are some artists that really are caught up, like, I don't know. I don't know who to name, but I think
hits. You're saying?
Well, hits, but I think like some people are just infatuated with being the artist. Like Prince. Like Prince is the artist.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
Yeah.
But like his songwriting is good for the artistry. For the songwriting is good for the artistry. So like I think of Prince as like that is an artist who has a lot to offer and shows a lot.
But he's not necessarily deep, is what you're saying.
No. Prince is deep.
Is he? Is he?
Yeah, there's like...
I feel like all this stuff's just about
very deep.
Sex. Yeah. All the stuff I hear is like, I want to fuck you.
No, I mean, yeah, there is obviously some of that, but like it's there's a lot of hidden messages in Prince's song.
I think so
But
too.
yeah, but what do you think as an artist that you gravitate towards wanting to show an audience?
I think I like writing a song that feels true enough that I can perform it. Like, I really love performing the songs that I write, but I don't think it's like about performing. It's about both. Like, a song that I want to perform is one that continues to have meaning for me as I play it. Like, if it's one that loses meaning, then it's not a song I want to keep playing. And so it's about, I really like that connection of writing the song and then connecting it with other people.
Do you have any songs that like you've lost the connection to and now you can't play them anymore?
I think there are some that feel less exciting to play. Like maybe like I'm Not Asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Feels a little less exciting.
Is that like
to play. But that might be because solo it's not as that's more like a full band song.
Is that one of your earlier ones versus like do you find that with age?
No, that's a more recent one.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's happened. I can't think.
I don't know. I
right now
sent him a song I'm recording to ask for his feedback, and I have no emotional attachment because I wrote it like 10 years ago. But I'm just like, if I don't record this, it'll never see the light of day.
Yeah. Well, we had on the first album, we had one song that we tried to record over and over and over again, and we maybe did it like 5 times, and then I was like, I just don't think.
Really?
This I can identify with this song.
So you're just not gonna. It's just never gonna see the light of day.
I mean, it could, but probably not on that record. And
oh, okay, I see.
The one
probably
from
won't. Yeah, the first one. Yeah.
That's right. How many songs do you think you have?
Written?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Are you thinking hundreds, or are we in the thousands?
No, I was like 40 or 50.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
I got
it's
you.
like-
That's all right.
That's a lot.
Hey.
Hundreds is.
James Brown said, I have 1,000 songs, and only 10 of them is what people know.
Yeah, but
So-
if you listen to a lot of his
yeah.
songs, it's like a little bit softer. Okay, we go. Like it's just him improvising over a beat.
Yeah,
a
but-
lot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but he's got a lot of songs, though. I mean, obviously.
He has so many,
yeah,
dude.
he's got a lot.
So does Prince,
I
dude.
don't know him as well.
You
I know
need-
him, but I
you
don't know.
need to go through James Brown's
Really?
thing because I
Okay.
think that's one of the best.
That's
Yeah.
a great example of an artist that's like for the show, you know?
For sure.
Like,
Oh, yeah, he's a performer.
yeah. Like
Is that what you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that. But I mean, I don't
Bruce
think.
Springsteen.
Yeah.
I feel like he's a
Yeah.
mix of
But he's a
both.
songwriter.
No,
He's
but-
a songwriter, but like
he kicks
he
ass.
loves to play.
Yeah, he can play, and like he can. I mean,
But
but in the '70s, running around a stage, like yeah.
His shows now, I think, are
Yeah,
like
he still
2.5,
goes out- yeah.
3 hours.
He's-
Yeah.
He's in great shape.
Yeah.
But what's crazy though is like he has these amazing compositions with full bands, and then you'll hear him play them acoustic, and they're just as good. Or like someone will cover it acoustic, like you know the song "Dancing in the Dark."
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard like the someone like I've heard like acoustic version
Yeah,
Those
cover?
are-
Lucy Dacus, I think, covered it.
Yeah, is that I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
But it's like it's actually like a deep song. Like you don't think that because it's like it's poppy and
Yeah, that song.
His songs are great.
Absolutely. And that Lucy Dacus version is awesome. Also, what's cool is Lucy Dacus is singing that a step lower than Springsteen. So she's singing it like in a key that's harder to sing in. I'll say harder to sing in for a lady.
female.
Yeah, but like she does it, and she does it well. And no, that's a good. She does. There's other covers that she does.
Yeah, she did a couple. I don't remember what the other ones were.
I can't either.
We were talking about that cover of "I'm on Fire" too. Like,
Oh, who did that?
There's a.
it's E-Town Mountain. Thank
That's
you.
it.
Oh, I
Yeah.
don't know.
It's bluegrass, and it is like I like it more than the Springsteen version, but it's like you just forget that like you think of him as a performer, and you forget that he's just like he's an incredible songwriter.
Yeah, he's so good.
Yeah. B, is there anything that you got coming up that you would like for people to know, or for at
All
least
12
us,
of the people that will be listening to this?
or for
Well,
Leah to
It
know?
won't get in time for the release show, but I'm playing in New York City, November
Represent.
6th, and then I'm playing in Chicago, November 12th.
Awesome.
You covering Empire State of Mind? No?
Is
Okay.
that the, who's
No, that's
that is?
the Jay-Z,
Oh,
Alicia
okay.
Keys song.
Okay, that makes me feel better.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess that's a no.
Wait, you're from New York City?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Well, we thank you for coming on.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having me.
Yeah, and cool. Bea Troxel, everybody.